against Bitcoin.
It's going up forevermore.
You're against Bitcoin, you're against freedom.
Yo! Good morning. We are back. It is Monday, December 11th. Fresh off Las Vegas. Unconfiscatable was amazing. I got a great show for you guys. But before we get into all that, Dalio is saying the quiet part out loud, guys. Like, the U.S. has a debt problem, and even the billionaires of the world are talking about it now. They're on the Bitcoin signal. He basically even said what Greg Foss says every single day. Like, it's 11th grade math, guys, that this is unfeasible. If a individual is running their balance sheet like the U.S. was, they would be absolutely broke. And yet somehow it works when a country does it. Obviously, it's because they have the money printer. But, man, the TLDR is obviously Bitcoin fixes this. And it's only a matter of time until they start talking about it. Of course, they're not really incentivized to talk about this because, you know, they're probably stacking some Bitcoin on the back end. Until then, they are definitely in treasuries. They're definitely investing in a not so friendly country to the US, especially Ray Dalio. But hey, that's neither here nor there. We're going to talk about the problem we see, we constantly tell you about. It's, if you're in America, actually, if you're in any country with fiat, you have a debt problem and you need to find a way. You need to find a solution. And of course, Bitcoin is that solution. Bitcoin fixes this, and it's only a matter of time that the Dalios of the world fully embrace Bitcoin. It's only a matter of time till every individual in the world embraces Bitcoin. And then on another news story, Google quietly changed its quote-unquote crypto ads guidelines in a preemptive move to allow advertisements for crypto coin trusts like a Bitcoin ETF. A super subtle move, but I would say a real huge significant development from Google being very cautious in regards to crypto advertisements. Of course, we all know it's Bitcoin, not crypto, but I think we are seeing the writing on the wall. When Bitcoin ETF, it's probably going to happen sooner than later. So welcome to Simply Bitcoin. We are your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. We cover breaking news, culture, and memetic warfare. And I bring on Bitcoiners from all around the world, from the biggest names to the everyday Bitcoiner. And today is no exception. And we will be your guide through the separation of money and state. I am super hyped to bring on my first guest. He's technically co-hosting today, which is going to be super lit. And then I have a special guest that's crashing the show today. So let's start with our first guest. Tatum, turn up. What's up, Doe?
What it do, baby?
Yeah, guys, I don't know if you know who Tatum is. Simply Bitcoin between two ASICs now. I think we have merged. But Tatum, and I was joking when I said this, but I'm going to troll him anyways. Tatum's funny online, but he is 10 times funnier in person. This guy is an animal. I love Tatum turn up. Wait, aren't we friends now? I think we're friends now. I think we're actually friends now. I think we're boys.
I think so too.
Well, guys, we had too much fun in Vegas, and now we're going to have some fun online. And I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter, but apparently Tatum got too turned up and lost a very special piece of his costume. And look who showed up with that piece of costume. We got Chris Alemo in the building. Look at this guy.
What up? Come and take it. I took it. I'm just saying, maybe we had too much fun in Vegas, and Opti, Tatum, and I are all paying the piper. But hey, we had a blast.
Oh my God. Well, guys, I got a great show for you guys. You already know Chris fills in with us. Absolute goat. What were you telling me your intro is? Bitcoiner, friend. And I forget what it was now. I forget.
Bunk buddy, you know, we crashing together in hotel rooms.
Yes. All right, guys, let's get into the show. We're already having too much fun, but we're here to give you some signal. So let's start it now.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Is your seed phrase
really secure. Stamp Seed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you need to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates instead of just writing them on paper. Don't store your generational wealth on paper. Paper is prone to water damage, fire damage. You want to put your generational wealth on one of the strongest metals on planet Earth, titanium. Your words are actually stamped into this metal plate with this hammer and these letter stamps. And once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamped seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin with peace of mind for the long haul. Stamp your seed on Stamp Seed.
Let's go, guys. Scan the QR code. Make sure your seed phrase is not in your sock drawer on a piece of paper. And then, guys, you're trolling me in the chat already. First and foremost, I'm back home, so the visuals are off a little bit. Second, I'm not sure if I lost my voice in Vegas, but I definitely lost my brain, so might be mumbling a little too much here. Anyways, PSA aside, let's get to Clark's Moody's dashboard. And of course, we always start with the block height, man. Current block height of 820,734. The Bitcoin price is at 41,610. Wow, I guess we dumped a little bit. Look at that. The sats per dollar, aka how much Bitcoin you can buy for a single dollar, aka how much your dollar is worth in Bitcoin, is 2,403 sats. And for the bits maxis in the back, 240 bits. The total percentage of Bitcoin that will ever be issued is 93.17%. The market cap of Bitcoin in fiat terms is $814.2 billion. The realized monetary inflation taking fiat currencies to school is currently at 1.75%. The Bitcoin versus gold market cap is at 6.08%. Man, we're not even at 10% of gold's market cap. And you guys are bearish. I couldn't be me, can't relate. Anyways, the total public lightning capacity is currently at 5,030.01 BTC. The hash rate the last 90 days, it's been going crazy, man. 452.3 exahashes. The pending fees is it's getting a little clear out there. I think we were hitting like 23 over the weekend. It's currently at 12.72 BTC. The blocks to halving is currently 19,266 blocks to the halving. And as of today, we may be hitting that meme number for the halving of April 20th, 2024. You would love to see it. Well, guys, all right, as I was saying, you know, we talk about this constantly on the show. We always pinpoint what we think is the problem. It's the money printer, guys. The fact that we are constantly printing too much money has gotten not only the US, but every country around the world in a place where it's almost like they have to keep printing to keep this game going. And at a certain point, it will blow up. Now, are we there yet? We don't know. This is why we tell you constantly to stack Bitcoin, protect yourself, because the people in power are drunk with the money printer. They have to continue to print money to keep the game going. You guys know how Keynesian economics works. They got to keep the floodgates going or else it's going to blow up. Well, as I always say, you know, when we say it, yeah, there's some weight to it. But when the $1 billion of the world, you know, billionaires, the Ray Dalios of the world talk about the problem, it seems to hold more weight to the average person. And this is what we constantly try to do here on the show, is bring you the receipts, continue to incept the ideas of freedom, continue to show you that the fact that they are printing more money is making us all poorer, and you need to protect yourself. And of course, so many people talk about the problem, but very few ever touch on the solution. And we know what the solution is. It's simply Bitcoin. Anyways, we got a video here of Ray Dalio on Squawk Box, and Ray Dalio says the U.S. debt problem is nearing an inflection point from where things could even get worse. And of course, you got to opt out with Bitcoin. This is what we tell you all the time. But hey, man, when Ray Dalio says it, I think people listen to it. Of course, he isn't on the point that Bitcoin fixes this yet, but he knows what the problem is. And again, I say it all the time. We know what the problem is, but very few people know the solution. So let's watch this video, guys. And there's so much sauce in here. It hits the nail on the head.
If one, I mean, it sounds to me you're also
Oops, let me turn this up.
that if we're going to have a soft landing, that maybe people are going to feel more comfortable holding as much debt as we do, and that the rates are not going to, you know, blow through the roof.
No, I think we're talking about the short term as very distinct from the longer term. The short term we just talked about. The longer term is that we are at a point in which we are borrowing money to pay debt service. And there is a process by which when you keep having debt growth faster than income growth, then that means that you have debt service encroaching on your spending. It's the same for the government as it is for us. And as that happens, and you want to keep spending at the same level, there is the need to get more and more into debt. And the way that works, it's like it accelerates. We are at the point of that acceleration, which creates the supply-demand problem. And it's made worse by the other issues that we're talking about. The internal political issue, the internal social conflict issue there is something that is affecting foreign demand for bonds. About 40% of our debt is sold to foreigners. And so there is a concern of the American politics, of the controlling of this debt crisis, and these types of things. So we come back to the same basic question. How strong are we going to be? When we talk about strong, what I mean is also economically strong. And economically strong means financially strong. That means it's just a basic thing. Financially strong means, do you earn more than you spend? And do you have a good income statement as a country? Do we have a good income statement? And do we have a good balance sheet? More assets than we have liabilities. The worse that gets, the more we are going to have that long-term problem. And it's just, you can see it in the numbers. It's just a matter of numbers. We are near that inflection point.
Dude, he sounds like a Bitcoiner, guys. Like, even though Ray Dalio, hits the nail on the head about foreigners buying our treasuries and him being extremely invested in China, and I think he even said it a few times, like, we need to move towards like a China model. He hits the nail on the head, guys. People are dropping U.S. treasuries. People don't want U.S. debt because it's going parabolic. And I have a chart here, and we brought this up on the show a lot, I don't know how many times at this point, but federal debt held by the public, 1900s to 2050. And it's going absolutely nuclear, guys. It's going exponential. And remember, this is a chart that the Fed dropped themselves about the projected amount of debt that the U.S. will have to print to continue to keep the wheels on the game. And you can see here, World War I peak, the pandemic peak, and we're somewhere in here. Maybe they backed off a little bit, but even in their numbers, the projected peak is going absolutely nuclear. It's actually scary how high the debt will have to go to continue the game as it is, and it just blows my mind that people don't see the problem. And just to give you guys one good visual before I move over to Tatum and Chris, I had my friend CJ show me this, and when you see it this way, it's so clear. So I'm over here at usdebtclock.org. You can see it. U.S. national debt at $33.9 trillion. We're almost at $34 trillion. And you can see it just constantly going up. And debt per citizen, $100,884. And the number that usually gets lost on people is this number in green, the U.S. federal tax revenue. And you can see that it's nowhere near the amount of debt that the U.S. has. There's no way that we can cover this debt by the taxes paid. And the only way this is going to work is them printing more money. And you can see revenue per citizen, $13,171 that people pay in taxes. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but, 100K is a lot more than 13K. There's no way out of this. They have to continue to print money. And guys, all this means for us is we are all getting brokered by holding U.S. debt. Now, imagine if you were running your life the same way the U.S. government was. If you were 100K in debt, but you're only making $13,000 a year, how would you survive? It wouldn't be possible. But then you go out and the politicians are telling you this is feasible. We can continue to do this for as long as we need to. And it's just absolutely ludicrous. The Keynesian economics model is broken, or rather it is working as designed, and you are getting poorer because of it. Now, I know what I did. I've opted out. I'm a Bitcoiner. I save in Bitcoin. This is how I know I will protect myself and my family. It's just crazy that now we have billionaires saying the Bitcoin signal, and it's only a matter of time until they start saying the B word. Until then, we will show up every single day and always point this back towards it is simply Bitcoin, guys. This is the solution, and that's the only way. Anyways, Tatum, I think you were trying to jump in. What's up, bro?
So if I had $100,000 in debt and I only made $13,000, there's a very simple solution. Take out another credit card to pay off the debt. Because, the U.S. has been doing that. It's almost sad because the level of incompetency here, we always get ragged on for the ADIQ, 13% of us are psychopath or whatever it is. I don't even remember. But It's ridiculous because people are actually doing this in higher places of power that are affecting us. It's actually insane. So, like Opti out with Bitcoin. That was stupid.
Oh man. All right. Let's get a not an 80 IQ take from Chris, because I know Tatum and I are the 80 IQ Bitcoiners for sure, confirmed. So Chris, what is your thoughts on all this stuff? You think Ray Dalio stacking, or is he like, I want to ask you on like kind of a more political view. Like what is the reason you think that Dalio is even saying this quiet part out loud? Because there's got to be a reason, and it's not just that he's concerned about it. Like, what is he doing? What's your thoughts on this?
I think maybe not the 80 IQ, but definitely like 85 maybe. So just generously slightly higher. No, on a more serious note, I think Dalio is very smart. He's obviously had a track record of over 40 years running Bridgewater Associates of getting very high returns, beating the S&P 500. He's kind of famous for the all-weather portfolio, kind of hedging his positions with bonds, equities, gold, other positions such as real estate. I think Ray Dalio is kind of saying the quiet part out loud and kind of signaling to higher or smarter investors like, hey, like this debt cycle is coming to an end. I saw a clip of Alan Greenspan. He was chairman of the Federal Reserve from 1987 to 2006. And Alan Greenspan is famous of, kind of putting us in the bind of obviously the mortgage-backed securities. Obviously, when the 2008 financial crisis occurred, and Ben Bernanke was actually the new chairman of the Fed then. They actually brought in Alan Greenspan as a consultant to help with this. Obviously, we were in financial straits and it looked like the world was collapsing. But Alan Greenspan's famous for saying the U.S. can always pay its debt. What he's really saying is, and he even said it, is we can print our own currency to pay our debts. So even worse than taking out another credit card is like to pay your debts. If you're the people that can issue the credit cards, you don't even need to ask permission of another bank or another financial institution when you're just like, yo, new credit card. No one wants to give me a loan. Joke's on you. Reverse Uno card. I can fucking make my own credit card to pay my own bills. But there's repercussions to people that hold dollars, the citizens of the United States, or people that hold the debt. Obviously, you're getting devalued if you hold the debt, such as foreign nations, or if you're citizens that hold the currency, you get fucked over with the money printing. So basically, the only beneficiaries of this money printing policy are the politicians, the cantillionaires that are closer to the money printer, or the people that are spending recklessly and they don't have to pay the piper. But yeah, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I think Ray Dalio is trying to warn investors without saying maybe Bitcoin, the B word, but trying to warn people to position themselves. And we see Bitcoin as the best position to be in, but I think he's trying to warn investors and people that follow him.
Yeah, 100%. That's like what the takeaway was for me as well. Is like, who is Ray Dalio signaling to right now? Because again, like XX said it right here in the chat. It's like, this guy has investors to answer to, and they cannot hide behind the Fed BS anymore, or they lose their jobs and wealth. And we're seeing this happen in real time. And it's actually very interesting. I think we were having this conversation over the weekend where the breakaway from what the federal government is saying and from Wall Street, like they're not really in tag team tandem anymore. One of them's trying to save their ass, and the other one's like, yo, we can continue to print money, and who cares who doesn't like it? And we're just like, wow, we are really getting into some crazy, crazy economic times right now. And of course, we always say you need to protect yourself. Jump in, Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say too, like, I know historically over the last 40 years, we see when times get tough, they lower interest rates, they print more money. And, we haven't seen, in the US, we have not seen a lot of inflation. But I do think Dalio's kind of priming us. And he's talked about it. Someone else was saying he's been writing about it for years in The Changing World Order, which is a great book as well. But he was kind of reiterating that, or even Joe Carlosari or other people on Twitter have been saying, what happens if they lower interest rates, but then inflation keeps running hot? After bringing it up, inflation's still hot. And then they try and lower interest rates and print more money, but then it doesn't get the effect that they see. I know in Bitcoin, we always talk about, oh, you're buying and then all of a sudden it dumps. Or you're like, oh, like maybe I should sell, and then it starts ripping. So it's kind of the markets move in things that cause the most amount of pain. And I think that may be coming. And kind of to your point, Opti, like calling the BS Fed put, like we might be getting to a point where, things don't operate the way that we've seen them historically, especially over the last 40 to 50 years.
Dude, that's so terrifying. All right. Okay. All right, guys. Before we move on to the news for the day, of course, you got to come hang out with us in Nashville, July 25th, 27th. In 2024, we are taking over Nashville, and you can get a promo code of Simply. So, guys, I know you're going to FOMO into the conference. You guys yell at us constantly about the prices are so high. Well, these are the cheapest they're going to be, and you already know you want to be there, because it happens every single time. I'm sure you're FOMOing. I'm sure you can hear my voice being completely destroyed because of too much fun at Unconfiscatable. Well, I am sure Nashville is going to be even more fun. So I'm super excited.
We go run
for
it
that.
back. We go run it
We
back.
go run it back.
Nashville's never going to be the same, boys. You thought Vegas was torn up.
All right, guys. Well, you know you want to be there. Anyways, let's get into today's news story.
The Daily News.
I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Foundation Devices. It's self-custody done right. They built a premium grade hardware wallet called Passport right here in the US. It's fully open source and verifiable. It's the most intuitive Bitcoin wallet designed with a UX reminiscent of a simple feature phone. So you will know how to navigate it and use it the moment you pick it up. Get your Bitcoin off exchanges and into your own hands in just a few minutes. Experience the peace of mind that comes with taking ownership of your own keys. After a massive sellout during Bitcoin Miami 2023, the Passport is back in stock at foundationdevices.com. Bitcoin only, open source verifiable, completely air-gapped security model, gorgeous design craft, premium grade materials. If you're thinking about getting your Bitcoin off exchanges, this is the one for you. Check out the Passport link in the show notes below to learn more.
All right, guys, I've yet to yell at Nico because don't think about taking your Bitcoin off the exchanges. Scan the QR code and take your Bitcoin off the exchanges today. I don't know if you guys have been seeing, but we're starting to see it get a little frothy out there in price movement. I think I should have maybe covered that this morning. Over the weekend, I think Robinhood had trouble withdrawing their Bitcoin and stuff. So guys, take your Bitcoin into custody. This is the way. This is how you protect yourself. Do not trust these people. Anyways, let's get into this news, guys. So we've been covering this for a while. I know I'm already hearing Yellow yell at me about, oh, everything's macro now. Opti, why you always talk about macro? Well, this is where we are, guys. This is the point of the movie where Bitcoin is maturing, for better or worse. The institutional world are wanting Bitcoin adoption, not because they really want to, is because their clients are asking them to. And we've been kind of speculating on when the Bitcoin ETF will be approved. Will all 12 of those ETFs be approved at the same time? Will BlackRock get favor and get approved first? No one really knows, but we have been seeing some more grumblings, and we kind of have a rough idea of when a Bitcoin spot ETF will be approved. I know I keep hearing Tone Base tell me and Nico that, Gary Gensler will never approve a spot Bitcoin ETF while he's in office. And then everyone else, we're having some analysts from Bloomberg. We have Joe Collar-Sari. He's all kind of the flip side. He's like, I think it's either going to be January or it's going to be March that a spot Bitcoin ETF will approve. Of course, we're kind of speculating here. We have no idea, but we did see some interesting news happen. It actually happened last week and none of us caught it until this week, but it just goes to show that maybe it's going to happen a lot quicker than we even know. And it might be in January of Q1 of 2024. And the news story that dropped was Google quietly revising their quote unquote crypto ad rules ahead of expected Bitcoin ETF launch. Beginning in January, I have all the dates for you and stuff. Google plans to allow the advertising of crypto trusts, including regulated financial products like the expected Bitcoin ETFs. And I'm reading over here from Bitcoin Mag because they did a great breakdown of this. So in a subtle yet significant move, Google has quietly adjusted its crypto ad guidelines ahead of the anticipated launch of a Bitcoin ETF in the US. Beginning January 29th, 2024, again, beginning January 29th, 2024, the search giant's revised policy will permit advertisers offering cryptocurrency coin trusts, quote, unquote, targeting the United States, provided they meet specific requirements and gain Google certification. This development marks a notable shift from Google's historically cautious stance toward cryptocurrency-related advertisements. The company had previously imposed embargoes on all manner of crypto ads, citing concerns about potential fraud and misleading promotions. However, as the Bitcoin landscape evolves and gains mainstream acceptance, Google appears to be recalibrating its approach. The updated guidelines specifically address financial products that enable investors to trade shares and trusts holding substantial amounts of digital currency. This signals a recognition of the growing popularity and legitimacy of such investment vehicles within the financial system. And as we were saying, as of December, there are 10 companies competing to launch the first spot Bitcoin ETF, and the move demonstrates a more nuanced enforcement strategy for Google. Rather than immediately suspending accounts for policy violations, Google will issue warnings at least 7 days before any potential account suspension. And the updates were announced last week, December 6th, but really only gained widespread attention this morning, Monday morning. So it still remains to see how these policies will take shape, but I do have the official announcement over here. And you can see I'm on Google, support.google.com, and you can see updates to cryptocurrencies and related products policy, December 2023. Google provides translated, not that one. In January 2024, Google will update the cryptocurrencies and related products policy to clarify the scope and requirements for the advertisement of cryptocurrency coin trusts. Beginning January 29th, 2024, advertisers offering cryptocurrency coin trusts targeting the United States may advertise those products and services within or when they meet the following requirements and are certified by Google. Cryptocurrency coin trust example is non-exhaustive financial products that allow investors to trade shares and trusts holding large pools of digital currency. As a reminder, we expect all the advertisers to comply with the local laws, of course, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, of course, at this point, it's just kind of some speculating. We are seeing that they are looking to maybe approve this ETF. We have these numbers over here. We have James C. Fart. Of course, look, maybe our tinfoil's hats on and we're like, yo, does Google know something that the rest of the market doesn't know? Or do they just see the writing on the wall and they know it's going to happen soon enough? But I think the dates roughly being around the same time is some signal out here that we are probably going to get a spot Bitcoin ETF the beginning of next year. And if that happens, man, 2024 is going to be absolutely crazy. Again, I got James Seapart over here, and we brought these tweets up a while ago. You can see this was November 28th. And he goes, update, wow, SEC went super early on Franklin. They weren't due for another decision until January 1st. Notably, Franklin is the only issuer who didn't submit an updated S1 yet. But the reason I want to bring this tweet up right here is because you can see some of the dates. And January 1st was one of the important dates. We see January 15th, 14th, that a lot of these ETFs are at least going to have their third deadline. Will we see these delayed going into the, middle of the year? We'll see. But this one that James Seafar posted, this tweet, he goes, okay, this delay on Hashdex all but confirmed for me that this was likely a move to line every applicant up for potential approval by the January 10th, 2024 deadline. And again, jumping in a little more with Joe Calasari, he goes, the Franklin Bitcoin Spot ETF, and this was the end of November. Comment period now extends until January 3rd. The SEC typically reviews comments for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Therefore, although it's not guaranteed, this increases the probability of a March approval. January is still likely the favorite, though. So not only do we have Joe Calasari or, James Seifer or every other Bloomberg analyst out there saying the same thing, that we're probably going to see an ETF mid-June or mid-January, maybe early March-ish. It's still, Q1 is looking like when a spot Bitcoin ETF will get approved. But I think now that we're seeing Google basically open the floodgates for advertisements roughly around the same time, I don't know, maybe I'm speculating, maybe I'm seeing between the lines because, one little move by Google probably wouldn't be much signal. But the fact that all the dates are pointing towards roughly the same time period, I think we're going to see a very beautiful, beautiful green candle by Q1 of 2024. And on a little tidbit before I pass it over here to Chris, because you dropped something in the private chat, so I want to let you jump in on that. I asked Terrence and Sam Callahan Buzz from Swan over the weekend. We were at the news desk and I asked him, is the spot Bitcoin ETF approval going to be a sell the news type scenario? And they were kind of like, no, I think people are going to get absolutely wrecked if they think that when the ETF gets approved, that we're going to see a sell off. And it always begs the question, is this time different? I don't know, guys. It seems like this time might be different, but what do I know? I just keep stacking. This is the way. Just make sure you are stacking Bitcoin, taking it into custody. But we are seeing that these institutions are being forced by their clients' hands to get exposure to Bitcoin. And you just love to see it. It just means that high net worth individuals out there want exposure to Bitcoin. And of course, they want to do it legally. And so here we are. We're probably going to see a spot Bitcoin ETF roughly around Q1 of 2024. And you're still front running the institutions, guys. So continue to stack. Don't take your gas off the foot. This is the way. And of course, take custody of your Bitcoin. Anyways, Chris, what is this? What's this link here? Let me pull it for you. What do you got?
Yeah.
Here?
If you want to leave all of us up as well and then pull up the link. But I was going to say, first thing, don't sell your Bitcoin to Fidelity, BlackRock, State Street, you name it. You don't sell those things to them. Keep your Bitcoin in cold storage. And even when they're screaming for higher prices, it's the separation of money and state, and you want to hang along for the ride. Opti, are you able to pull up the thing? Okay. Yeah, go to holders and scroll down. You were actually on it. Scroll down a little bit on here.
Okay. Holders.
No.
All right.
Yep. Scroll down. All right. So right now you were talking about Google changing their ad policies, talking about how they're now allowed to advertise on Google or, YouTube mainly. Well, look at the top 3 holders of Google stock is Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street. And then obviously, even if you scroll down a little bit further, there's JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, North Trust Corporations, T. Rowe Price. The point here is obviously they have the shareholders or the largest shareholders of Google stock are these companies that are all trying to vie or have a special interest in getting the Bitcoin ETF approved. So while we've seen over the last 5 to 6 years, Google hamp down on ads, give strikes to channels, ban channels, remove channels for live streams. Obviously, now the tides are changing and the narrative's changing, and they have incentives and they can apply pressure to Google and their executive teams, or they're even on the board and they're able to make these changes that basically be like, hey, we're going to loosen up our ad guidelines because we want ads to go in that are saying, buy my ETF on your platform because we're the largest shareholder. If you don't do this, we will sell our shares, cause you guys the price to go down, and force executives out or get rid of people. So, obviously stocks are a shit coin, and there is perverse incentives by doing so, where even if Michael Saylor has over 174,000 Bitcoin, he does not control the network. He does not put whatever Opti, myself, or Tatum use as our nodes, and there's no way for him to force a change. That is not the case with stocks and bonds and things of that nature, that you can apply pressure through trying to force changes by, threatening people's jobs if the stock price drops. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out, that the largest shareholders of Google and most S&P is, Vanguard, BlackRock, and then, a large corporation such as JP Morgan Chase, State Street, and Morgan Stanley. So yeah, the ilk and the like, they are trying to force investors into doing certain things by pressuring them with holding their stock.
Yeah, no, and I love it. And great. That's why I knew when Chris was like, let me pop in for a moment with the vest and troll Tatum. I'm like, nah, dude, hang out for a little bit, because this guy is not an 80 IQ Bitcoiner, to say the least. But anyways, one of the things that I think gets lost on people all the time, they're always like, Larry Fink, he's just like a greedy, evil man, and that he's trying to come into Bitcoin and control it. And, I'm not saying that isn't a possibility, but what I usually say is like, guys, he is greedy just like everyone else, and he wants to make a profit, and he sees the writing on the wall that there is a lot of profit to be made. And of course, he has shareholders and they want to make profits. And so again, Bitcoin's incentives are pure. And if we can't handle a Larry Fink, then what are we really doing here? And I just think that, hey, they all want to see the same thing. They all want to make some profits. Of course, we do not advocate for you guys to hold the spot Bitcoin ETF, because I would say it's paper Bitcoin. And we saw what paper Bitcoin has done to the market, after the FTX, Celsius, Voyager, BlockFi debacles. So you do not want to be holding paper Bitcoin. But we just know that I think as the meme has been running around, maybe it's not BlackRock that's going to bring Bitcoin down, and it's Bitcoin that brings BlackRock down. So, hey, we can only hope. We can only hope. Yes, bull-tarded for life, guys. So just keep stacking. And like XX always says, man, I think people underestimate how huge of a move adding Bitcoin to corporate treasuries really is. And the spot Bitcoin ETF maybe is a little blimp in the amount of capital that gets into Bitcoin. But once we see more people adopting the Nayib Bukele or the Michael Saylor strategy, like this is going to get so crazy. It's going to get absolutely nuclear. And you have an opportunity to stack now, guys. Continue to stack. Anyways, Tatum, what's your thoughts on this? Are you going to go full, we're talking macro. What's your thoughts on this?
No, I'm of the minority party that doesn't can't make up a decision on my opinion on ETF. Also, just want to preface, every 7 minutes, my Wi-Fi is going out for 5 seconds. So if I just freeze, give me 5 seconds and I will be back. But anyway, I don't I'm obviously a Bitcoin maxi. I'm not a invest in this trust maxi. I'm not a profit maxi. I'm a sovereignty maxi, if you could say that. And I think that, obviously this is going to be good for, value of Bitcoin that you front run, these large corporations and entities. But at the same time, like you said, paper Bitcoin, that's the main thing that I think about, because we've seen how much paper Bitcoin was basically artificially inflating prices with FTX. And it scares me a little bit, but also I still don't give a shit at the same time. So I don't know. I also think specifically on the ads part, I think that this is an interesting development because we're going to see a lot of tightening on, regulations and rules with crypto advertising, because look at the past couple of big advertisements for FTX, Celsius, any of these big crypto exchanges that have had insane controversy for the Super Bowl, sponsorships for arenas and stuff like that. It shows that these companies are looking in the right direction, that taking away from trading shit coins to, talking about, trust ETFs, all that good stuff that, I say good stuff, but relatively speaking. So I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting honestly, it's just going to be it's going to be a very interesting day after day after day, starting from basically right here. I think we don't know what's going to happen, and we won't know until after it happens. And you can make all the predictions in the world and it's not going to be right. That's I don't know shit about luck, basically.
Hold on. Actually, a little tidbit, and I don't think it has anything to do with this, but when I was in the airport, I was seeing GBTC ads, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And I was going to tweet about it, but then it's nah, I'm not going to tweet about this. But now that we have this, news that we all missed, it's just, I don't know. I was seeing all kinds of Bitcoin crypto ads in the airports and stuff. And I'm like, all right, either, Barry's out here just trying to front run the ETFs and get people on GBTC, or what is going on? It feels like this FOMO cycle is going to be absolutely crazy. And I see I still see some shitcoin companies sponsoring, I think blockchain.com sponsors the Cowboys Stadium. I saw it on television and stuff. And it's does crypto.com still have their stadium?
Crypto, yeah. Well, I don't know if they have the stadium, but they definitely still have some sort of UFC or MMA. I can't remember what exactly it is they have, but they need to get wiped out. I didn't know that they still existed.
Yeah, 100%. So it's just, I think you hit the nail on the head, Tatum. But jump in, Chris. I saw you wanted to chime in here.
No, yeah. Speaking of crypto.com, they've kind of gone under the radar. FTX, Binance getting sued. We're just keep doing our shit. Not just avoiding it.
I'm gonna stay out the limelight right here. You know what I'm saying?
While Gary Gensler's throwing strays, he's like, I'm just not here, you know?
It's the Homer meme going into the hedges, just like disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Well, before we get into the culture, and cultures today is going to be a fun one. Shouts out to the boys at Kaboom Racks. We hung out with them all weekend. You buy, sell, or host your ASICs with them at Kaboom Racks. Get in touch with my boy Alex. He will, if you've been thinking about buying an ASIC, get in touch with him. Yeah, maybe we'll chime in.
Not to buy one.
Yeah,
but that's
exactly.
why he's a great salesman or a bad salesman. I'm not sure.
He's the
Chris,
goat.
is the Kaboom Rack sticker still on the back of the vest?
Oh yeah, you know it.
There you go.
Kaboom Racks. There we go. They also have the best guerrilla marketing team out there because they just tag the Kaboom Rack stickers everywhere. But also, man, I'm just super excited to bring on the Kaboom Racks guys. We're going to schedule it for you guys so you guys can come on, ask them their questions live. I love these guys, man. And so these guys are just good Bitcoiners, but good people in general. So get in touch with Kaboom Racks. Go jump in their Telegram group, t.me/Kaboom Racks. And I already kind of know what this next conversation is on culture, and it's going to be a little bit mining heavy. So if you've been thinking about getting into the game, guys, we're going to add some more sauce onto you for you. All right, let's get into the culture.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today.
All right, guys. Oops. Well, forgive my parents' dogs in the background. It might be getting picked up right now. But guys, we just got back from Las Vegas, and I thought this was just going to be Tatum and I kind of shooting the shit. And so I was going to troll him out a little bit. I know there may be a Simply Bitcoin between two ASICs coming up. I may or may not have said some pretty ludicrous things on it. So maybe, I don't know. Now that I have Chris here as well, I was just going to kind of tee up Tatum, but I'll give you the same question, Chris. Is like, as much as we don't really talk about Bitcoin when you're at these conversations, you just talk about everything else besides Bitcoin. What was one of your favorite conversations, whether on the stage or off the stage? So let's go with Tatum first. What's your favorite combo? It could have been a presentation, or it could have just been shooting the shit with people.
Well, I think you might know which one was my favorite. I was sitting next to you, the public versus private mining debate. Oh my gosh. That I went back and watched that while I was in the airport, but you had Hollis Ranchula and Bob. I called him Bob Barker earlier.
No, Bob Burnett. Bob Burnett.
And they were on the private side, and then you
I think it was Ben Gagnon.
I can't remember his name, but Clean Smart. Yeah, and Timo. On the public side.
I think it's Tony. I forget, but they killed it.
Taylor, Timo,
Taylor.
and Ben Gagnon.
Yeah. And Nico was the moderator, and it went over time, and no one cared because it was just absolutely insane. Like there were some like bars dropped right there, and I think that both sides brought up good points. It's something, even as like a Bitcoin miner myself, I have not thought too much about that kind of dichotomy, but they both brought up really good points on. I think the public and private need to coexist for different reasons, but I'm definitely kind of biased towards the private side of things because Bob always gives the analogy of rabbits, horses, and elephants, where rabbits reproduce very quickly, they can move around very quickly. Horses, and then I'll say elephants, they don't reproduce quickly, they don't move around. Horses are kind of in between there, and I'm a rabbit. If the U.S. is like, hey, no more mining in Colorado, all right, I'm going somewhere else. And large corporations can't do that very quickly. They may be able to do that in the long run. And also, they may not be able to do that too. But the conversation around are they good for adoption or not was very interesting because, quite honestly, like I want to do a deeper dive into that on public miners being good for Bitcoin adoption, because some people just invest in the stock, because if you look at any public mining stock in the past year, you're going parabolic. I know that people are going to see those charts and be like, yes, I just want that stock because line go up. And I mean, granted, that's how I got into Bitcoin. And now I'm 2 steps away from being a certified electrician. So I don't know. I would like to do a deeper dive on that.
Electrician.
Can we stop talking about that now, actually? But yeah, no, I mean, I'm a geek on mining. And of course that was one that I was wanting to watch anyway. Ended up being one that I didn't know that I needed to hear. It was so good. I'm going to go back. That was day 2 towards the end of Unconfiscatable. Go to Tone Vay's YouTube.
I think it's the very last one, right?
Yeah, right before the Q&A. That was so hype. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was kind of joking. Like, I don't think Tone realized that was going to be like the best speech or the debate of the whole show, and we were all sitting there like, oh, like Tarantula's just like trolling, Ben's just going hard in the paint, Bob's just like, hey, respectfully, this is what I'm seeing. And man, it was
Bob was like the hey guys, let's just both have fun. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like hostile by any means, but like when Ben and Trent, I would love to see Ben and Tarantula one-on-one.
Yeah, we gotta maybe do an IRL with them. Just them two.
And the thing is, like, it was all very supportive, and they ended. Tarantula even said, like, there's competition in the market, obviously, but it's a brotherhood where everyone is helping everyone. Like Bitcoin miners, public or private, they talk all the time. They ask questions. They do business with each other, and I love being a part of it, honestly.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, Tatum kind of took my one as well. I mean, that was definitely the best debate. I mean, technically they went for like 45 minutes, and I think they extended slightly longer. I know Nico is trying to get someone to throw hands. Completely joking, of course. There's no violence, but there's
fight.
There's some real good debate about it. Unconfiscatable was a blast. So aside from that talk that I really, really enjoyed, just hanging out, the debauchery of Vegas, that's the most fiat city in the world. And if, insane stuff there, but great time nonetheless. Great time hanging out with you, Opti and Tatum. Highly recommend going to that conference. I know I didn't go to the carnivore dinner, but everyone was saying that was an incredible carnivore dinner that Tone put together. The scammies were hilarious. Actually, aside from talks, I got the privilege of going to the scammies, got to see Tatum shoot the shit with Huddle Tarantula, doing the Scammy Awards. I thought it was very well done. It was funny. Many drinks and laughs were had at the Scammy Awards. And then, the poker tournament, I didn't participate this year, but it was fun to watch and see people compete to win Bitcoin.
Yeah, the Scammies was actually way more fun than I thought it would be. That was just hilarious. I even told Tone, I'm like, dude, you're a genius. The Scammies Award was way too good. Like, that was too much fun. But yeah, it's just, the funniest part is, I hardly talked about Bitcoin per se, like off, what we were talking about with all our guests to give you guys good content. But every conversation that I was having with people was kind of summed up in the idea, like, Bitcoiners have like this warrior DNA in us that like put our backs against the wall. Like, we are here. We're going to change the world, and there's nothing you can do to stop this train going. And you get that feeling, excuse me. You get that feeling when you're hanging out with all your Bitcoin friends in these conferences that like, everyone here, of course, we're all self-incentivized to live better, but we're all here. And it's always the same type of feeling of like, we are changing this, whether they like it or not. And none of us are going to back down. And I kept having the same conversation about like, dude, Bitcoiners are actually warriors. And that's kind of why I always say the same thing, get your mind right, get your body right, get your finances right. Like, it's all in this. And even Ray Dalio said that today, like, you got to be economically fit. You got to be financially straight, or else you're going to get wrecked. And this is what this whole thing is about, making sure. Yeah, shout out to Dom. Chris is just dropping some personal jokes in the chat. Man, it's so much fun. I had way too much fun with my Bitcoin friends. And you said something, and I say it all the time. I wasn't the one to create this. Shouts out to Joe and Clancy Rogers from Bitcoin Mag. They always say the same thing. It's like, you said Vegas is like the biggest fiat city in the world. I could find myself hanging out in Vegas for a little bit, but it's so funny. Every time Bitcoiners get together, like we're very, very frugal with our money throughout the year. And then when Bitcoiners get together, it's just like, all right, let's party. Like, let's go.
Making it rain.
I call it Unconfiscatable the most ironic conference because it's in the most fiat city in the world and the most surveilled city in the world.
Yeah, for
But
real,
don't get me
for
wrong, but
real.
it was great. It was great. But and also like just a little side story. Opti saying like, yeah, we're the ones like we're doing the thing. We're changing the world. I think back to me, Chris, Nico, and Opti trying to build a frame for the step and repeat. It was the most 80 IQ thing I have ever experienced my entire life. It was awesome, though.
Hey, what were you saying too? It's like because we didn't have the documentation and we're all figuring it out. And Tatum looks at us and we're all just like kind of struggling. He's like, "Yep, and these are the guys that are going to change the world, like for sure."
Then we like built it. Chris like, we did it, guys. We defeated the government.
So good.
So good.
Well. I had so much fun. I'm still, as you can tell, I have lost my voice. It was such a good time. This is why you got to go. And I think we were having this conversation as well. Like, me and Tatum have gone back. Me and Chris are longtime friends now. Me and Tatum have gone back and forth. And like I said, jokingly in the beginning, hung out Tatum and instantly we're like, wait, like, are we brothers now? Like, oh, we're the same type of person. Are we boys? Oh man, so good.
We are, is the answer.
All right, yeah, we are. Anyways, I did get some memes for you guys, but I'd like to tee up Tatum for a second because someone in the chat said, I missed Tatum's show. Well, he did a lot of work this weekend, even though he could barely think for the first couple of days. Tatum, what you got in the works, man? And shouts out to the best. Wait. Chris is going to give me that stare, but I think Tatum's producer might be the best producer in the game, bro. Carl might be the GOAT.
Carl the GOAT.
Yeah, Carl is quite literally. I said this on. I think it was probably on Spaces, but like he's the reason that the show is actually like a thing. Like he took my original video that I just like chopped up, and that's all I did. And then he ripped it from YouTube, put some VFX on it. And I was like, okay, now I feel like I can actually post this. And now he's working for me for free because I'm not getting money from it. But no,
shout out Between Two A6 looking for sponsors, shout out.
Low key.
Between2a6.com.
I still got to pay that domain. Don't email me, DM me on Twitter or something because I got to get that domain back. Anyway, but we filmed a couple of episodes. I also still have some episodes from Miami. I had to go through a little bit of a chill out, accidentally, unintentional break whenever I moved. But things are kind of getting back settled again. And we got some, big things coming soon, trademarked. But yeah, thank you for giving me the time to plug. But go subscribe to Tatum Turn Up and also go watch all of my videos just in the background so I can monetize them. I'm not there yet. So I'd appreciate that.
Well, guys, can indeed confirm that Tatum does turn up. But hey, what stays in Vegas or what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So we plead the fifth until next time. Let's get into the meme review because I know you guys have been yelling at me about the meme review. I know. We're not going to nuke it completely, guys, but sometimes we go a little long. So here we go. I got some memes for you guys. Actually, I got a solid one to start this off. I'm sure you know which one it is. Let's get into this.
The Daily Meme Review.
All right, guys, you know the deal. This is the meme review where you guys tag me in memes on Twitter at simplybitcointv. Actually, before I go on, I'm thinking if we do the meme review less, then like Friday will be the best of the week memes. I'm still kind of working through on how we can do this correctly so that we can probably, I'm thinking the Friday show, I'll do the meme review no matter what. It'll always be on the Friday show. I'm just still working on how to do this correctly. Anyways, this is the meme review where you tag me in memes, Simply Bitcoin TV, or drop them in our Telegram group, t.me/simplybitcointv. Memes are the bullets. Wait, tweets are the bullets, memes are the artillery. We are in an information war, and it's upon us as individuals to spread the Bitcoin signal, wake up our friends and family, and of course, make some funnies to keep your heads in the game. All right. Well, apparently, Tatum got too turned up, and Opti turned up in the vest. I was walking around looking like Nico's security over here, and Toxicap from our Telegram group just goes, time to play at Tatum turn up. And we got Tatum here in his suit with yellow. And wait, did you post that yellow video? The one where
I posted a lot of yellow content
at the scammies, the very last, I think it's probably the last one where you're like, you may or may not have beat up yellow.
Oh no, I didn't post that yet. Oh,
that was so bad.
I'm going to edit that and post that today. I'll post that today.
Oh, my God. Anyways, this is the Undertaker meme where we have Tatum in the front and then we have Opti in the back as Opti turns up. Okay, next one. Shouts out to my boy, Ben Justman, a.k.a. the Bitcoin wine guy. Even though he never wants to talk about wine, he just wants to talk about Bitcoin and entrepreneurship. The absolute GOAT. Love him. We even got to drink some of his delicious wine. And he goes, every time I go on Simply Bitcoin TV and Opti asks how my business is going, we have one of those giant wine glasses and it says Peony Lane. And then we have Bitcoiners just chugging it and it's overflowing everywhere. Shouts out to Ben. Go support Bitcoiners and get some wine. It's absolutely delicious. This next one is by the BTC therapist and it goes, thank you, Satoshi, hashtag Bitcoin. And after a moment like this weekend where you hang out with Bitcoiners, all you really want to do is just thank Satoshi for bringing us all together. I remember when I was, for lack of a better term, lost in the wilderness, thought I was absolutely regarded and I thought I was the crazy one. And yet I go to a conference, hang out with people like Chris and Tatum and everyone else, and I realize, no, everyone else is the one that doesn't get how this works. Anyways, we have the Interstellar meme here. Matthew McConaughey crying goes, when you realize that Satoshi sacrificed everything for humanity, and you just cry and think and realize this is the way, guys. I know we're going to win. Bitcoin is winning. Bitcoin incentives are pure. All you have to do is continue to stack, continue to spread the signal, and continue to take Bitcoin into custody. This next meme is by Maxie's Club. And we got a Bitcoiner here and he goes, how it started. I'm going to put all my money into Bitcoin. And then your friends and family go, it's a scam. No, Bitcoin is dead. And your grandpa goes, it's rat poison. And then you go, how's it going? And you can see the bored Bitcoiner just so tired of it all now. And he goes, the girl wants to be his girlfriend. When you want to go out and a friend or brother says, is it a good time to buy Bitcoin? And then your grandpa hodl. And it's just like, man,
wait,
it happens every cycle.
Girlfriends?
Is
it finally time?
I think it's time. I think we're out here with time. Anyways, the next one is Plan Marcus, and he goes guilty. And we got the classic, guy on a bike meme where he puts a rod in his spoke and he goes, I hate shitcoin marketing. And then you quote tweet the shitcoin influencers bad takes. And then you eventually cause an alt season because you are giving them cover. Guys, just ignore the shitcoiners. All they want is the attention. If you ignore them, you literally demonetize them on Twitter. Stop giving them your attention. You are literally paying them. It's so simple. Anyways, guys, drop your meme review score in the chat as we cover ours live. I didn't get one up yet. So maybe Tatum, I know Tatum has one already. So Tatum, what's your meme review score?
My meme review score today is a What's Miner P222C power supply. That's about it.
Nice. Okay. Chris, what is your meme review score? Actually, it better be the meme review score.
I mean, it's got to be, the come and take the best. I mean, I took it. So what up, dude?
Damn. And not I don't know if you guys know, but there is a very huge height difference here. And Chris somehow took the vest. Incredible. All right, guys, my meme review score, I don't think I've ever done this, is what do you call this?
Staple remover.
Staple remover. There we go. All right, guys, hopefully you drop some meme reviews in the chat. But before we go on, you guys have been yelling at me about we gave you guys hoodies during the summertime. Well, it is hoodie season now. Get yourself a hoodie, get yourself a shirt, Go to simplybitcoin.com, scan the QR code. It really means a lot. You're supporting us. We have a huge team. We're doing our best to stay as independent as possible. We're trying to make sure everyone is getting a working living wage at Simply Bitcoin so we can do this for you guys every single day. And we pay attention to the details. Shouts out to every single one of you guys that has gotten either a hoodie or a shirt and has shown love and told us that, man, the quality is so good and you love it. We're going to give you some more. I was talking with the Bitcoin artists. We're trying to finalize a few last little tweaks to the merch. I will get you the hats. I talked with Sophie. We have, women's sizes, women cuts, so that you don't just feel like you're wearing your boyfriend's shirt. Make it feel, something that you actually want to wear. Anyways, let's get to the meme review score because I think we have some in here. Hold on. Yes, we got some. All right. First one. Torah Poddle, my meme score, memes daily for the stackers. Okay. Toxic Sophie, score, Bitcoin Summer on the French Riviera coming October 31st, 2024. Yes, exactly. Elaine Lowell, score, meme, withdrawal, pain, and suffering among maxis. MW meetings scheduled across the country. Memes drink coffee, smoke something, pass memes back and forth. Oh, man. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me go down. Jay Thoreau. My meme review score is this meal I'm buying at Doña Silvia's with Bitcoin here in Berlin, El Salvador. Viva Bitcoin country. Let's go. No, we're... If you're willing to pay the extra shipping, we will ship everywhere around the world. But as of now, we're only in the U.S. So let us know. Hit me in the DMs and we can figure that out. Sale Dog 18. I give those memes 5 SB meme Fridays. Okay. Phil C. I give these memes. Jay Thoreau living the life in El Salvador. Justin Griffin. I give the memes. Tatum's badass explanation of how mining works when he was on stage at Nostr. Let's go. Okay. Memes. XX memes. Ray Dalio is a Bitcoiner. Maybe we won't ever know. Okay, let's see. All right. Rumble meme scores. Do we have any? No, we don't. All right. Everyone's fallen off on the meme review score. All right. It's not that we ran out of memes. It's the buzzer. All right. Tatum, thanks for showing up, man. Where can people find you? When is this Simply Bitcoin between two ASICs going to drop, bro? I may or may not get canceled from it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I got to do a lot of editing first.
It may not be able to be released.
Might have to paywall it or something.
Yeah, definitely paywall.
No, find me on YouTube, Tatum Turnup, Twitter, Tatum Turnup, Nostr. So I actually removed my Nostr address because I'm an idiot. But just look up Tatey Watey, TATEY, Don't ask.
Wait. What's the meme you were saying all weekend? Tatey Watey needs some saucy wassy. Oh my God. When he gets hungry, that's what he says. Incredible. Well, Tatum, I can't wait to do it again. Hopefully see you soon, bro. It was a great time. And maybe we'll bring you on the show more often, not just a special unconfiscatable one, Maybe he'll be a co-host more often. We'll see. Anyways, Tatum, kick back for a moment as I roll this one out. Chris Alamo, the one and only friend, snuggler, I don't know, stacker. I forget what you're saying.
Bitcoiner.
Thanks for showing up. Bitcoiner. Thanks for hanging out with us, bro. It's always fun. You always make me look good when you're on the show. So, Chris, where do you want people to check out?
Chris Alamo 6 on Twitter, Chris Alamo on Nostr. Always pleasure hanging out with you, Opti, at conferences and in real life. Even though we give Tatum shit, he definitely turns up and turns out at conferences. I may have his jacket, but always down to hang out with him. So thanks, Opti. Always a pleasure being here, and love you, brother.
You as well, bro. I'll talk to you soon. Guys, Tatum may or may not have turned up, but I'm pretty sure everyone turned up. This is why you go to these conferences. It's I know you guys complain about the prices, but you go to hang out with your brothers in arms and share special memories, man. This is what it's all about. Anyways, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. We will be back tomorrow with our normal show. Nico will be back tomorrow. He is technically on his honeymoon as we speak, even though he popped in one of our meetings earlier. So We'll be back tomorrow. For whatever reason, if it happens to be that he is busy, then your boy will host a show. As you can tell, I'm back at my parents' house. I'll be here till about Christmas. So we keep the show going for you guys. We love you guys. We appreciate all the support. And, tune in, share, spread all the good content. We love you guys. I'll see you on the flip side. This has been your boy Opti. Peace out.